All right, greetings and salutations. It is December 1st, 2020, in reference, in case you're watching this video 10 years from now. This is East Oakland Aquatics, and this is going to be the December holiday tour, and I'm going to be sharing this across next door and everybody else because this fish room I have been working on all year, actually 2 years, and we are in this time in history, we are in COVID times, and I thought it would be good since a lot of us can't get out, we're reading whatever is going on. So I thought this would be a good opportunity to share what's going on in the fish room. So let us walk over to the far side over here. These are two new additions. In case you're wondering, just a quick reference, I didn't do a November tour because I didn't like the video, and so I just scrapped it. So anyway, so let us start over here. This is a tank. It's a 15-gallon fluval tank. It's full of neon tetras, and there I've just fed them, and as you can see, it's fully planted, and they're having a good time eating dinner, and everybody looks healthy. It's a good looking tank. The plants are looking healthy, and everyone's flopping around having a good time enjoying a good meal. These are just Java ferns in there. Java ferns and maybe an anubias. They're really easy to grow. This is a simple 8-gallon, I call it a quarantine tank. There are currently no fish in quarantine right now, so it's just sitting there ready to go. And over here is the 10-gallon, and it is now occupied with celestial pearl danios. Let's see if I can zoom in. You can see they're gorgeous colors. They're eating their dinner. They have this bright, they look like little diamonds red. Really gorgeous. Let's see if I can get in there even more. Yeah, you can kind of hard to see right there, but they are just looking phenomenal. And they're hanging out with some pygmy cories, eating dinner. All right, in this 10-gallon tank, we have our gorgeous endlers, yellowtail endlers. They look phenomenal. And as always, there are panda cories. I was unsuccessful in getting more panda cories. They're somewhat hard to find right now, so I was kind of surprised right at that. And when you do find them, they're about $8.99 a piece. I remember like 2 years ago, you could get them for $3.99, but apparently people really like the panda cories, so there's a big rush on them right now. But so let's get a quick close-up on them. This is a gorgeous tank here, and as you can see, I added this big, I think it's an Amazon sword with some Java. This tank is just looking really phenomenal now. All live plants with, I believe that's Malaysian wood, really looking healthy. And in this tank is my cherry barb tank. It is a 29-gallon tank, and as you can see now, it is fully planted. It used to be boring before, just rocks and wood, but now with all these live plants, Java ferns, Amazon swords, and as you can see, all the cherry barbs are up on top, eating dinner, having a good time. I'm hoping I will finally be able to breed them, because there should be plenty of places for the eggs to hide in all these plants. And this tank just looks phenomenal. It's running 2 sponge filters and a heater. Just looks phenomenal. Let's see if we can zoom in there. Yeah, I just love their bright red colors. Those are the males, by the way. The bright red ones are the males, and the ones that are off red are the females. That being, just like everything in Mother Nature, it is the job of the male to attract the females. And one way to do that is to look extra red and extra good looking to tell the females that, hey, I'm here. That's how we'll call it. All right. In here is my 45-gallon fluval tank. It is still fully planted. A lot of the stem plants passed away. Without some CO2 in the tank, I had to pull most of them. So what I did is I added more Java fern. The Java fern and the Amazon sword are doing quite fine. As you can see, there's just a whole mix of fish right here. There is the red dwarf gourami. He's looking good, or she. I do not know. I should probably sex that out. But as you can see, there are the Harlequin rasboras, There are the runny nose tetras. There are some guppies in there. It's a big mix, and of course, how could we not forget about our Otocinculus? There's lots of Otocinculus in there doing their job, eating the algae. They're one of my favorite fish, and I am running two 20-gallon aqua something over the top, whatever you want to call them, filters. And I added this airstone in there to get, because I think it just looks phenomenal. It makes the tank stand out, and putting extra bubbles in there creates more oxygen, which is good for the fish. More oxygen, more better, and better for the plants. And let's see if I can get a close-up on those runny nose tetras. Those guys are just so cool looking. I wish I had more of them, but they're hard to keep, and even when you buy big groups of them, most of them don't get out of quarantine, which is what happened, and the reason why there's only 5 left. But they are just phenomenal. This tank is just one of my favorites. And there's one of the female guppies up there. Or I'm sorry, yeah, female, it's probably a female Endler or a guppy. And everybody's eating dinner. The plants are looking good, everyone's looking good, and we'll see what happens. We'll let this tank just get a feel for that. This tank is just phenomenal. All the live plants, it's just good for everything. All right, so now let's go to our stand here. And these are what's referred to as 20-gallon longs, and they're really phenomenal. And on top here, we have more plants, and Buddha's up here. And we have our sponge filter. And in this tank, we have mollies in here. We have black mollies. And we have a orange, kind of yellow. Let's see if I can get him in focus. Or is strong light here. He's the male. There he is. He's looking good. And we have some leopard corydellus. They're catfish. And as you can see, when I feed them, they act real crazy and like to come up on top. I don't know what it is about leopard cories, but they just seem to be really out. There he goes. Looking good. Having a good time. There's the female molly. I'm hoping that the male here will breed with the female and we'll get some really colorful babies. This tank is also phenomenal. I think I'm going to open up some more air on that sponge filter and get some more bubbles. All right, tank looks good here. And in this tank is some ember tetras. They look like little balls of fire. They're really cool. And I love the way they group up in school. They're really phenomenal looking fish, and they're a great starter fish if you're getting your first aquarium. I highly recommend them. They're cheap, $3 or $4. You got to get at least 12 or 16 if you really want to see their natural behavior. And what I really enjoy is the sponge filter has a bunch of algae growing on it, which I think looks really good, and that helps with extra food here for a salt pepper cory, or more importantly, an Otocinculus. And there's another corydellus. I think that's a stir-by. And here's another one over here. Another cool looking salt and pepper corydellus. He's just chilling. Another cory cat, looking good. And on the bottom here are my swordtails and the famous orange laser cat corydellus. This is a non-planted tank. It's all fake. There's the cory cat. They are my favorite. Super shy though. I tried to get a male swordtail, but as always, they just seem to never get out of quarantine, so I have given up on that task. I really wanted to breed them. It was funny. When I didn't want to breed swordtails, I would buy females and males, and I'd always get babies, and some of these are the offspring. But now that I'm trying to breed them, it's a no-go. And here come the orange laser cat cories. They're coming out to feed. Oh, look at them. If you can afford to get these, I highly recommend them. They're kind of expensive, on the $25 to $35 range. I used to have 4. I only have a couple left, and here she's going on top there. and they're super fun. And that's a cool tank. And that's a great way to do a starter tank. If you don't want to do plants, just get some rocks and some fake plants and a couple of statues, and just make sure your tank is cycled, and you will have a good time with your fish. All right, so now let us go over here to the stack of 5-gallon breeder tanks and the 10-gallon on top. We will start with the 10-gallon on tank, which just has your, as you can see, if you follow from October, I completely redid this tank and added new plants, rocks, and some spiderwood, and now we have some really colorful platy fish, and that's a male and female, and I'm hoping they breed, and we get some cool looking babies, and they're asking for some more food, but you guys ate plenty, you don't need any more. All right, so let's check in with Hope and Joy, our 2 female bettas, and as you can see, I redid their tanks as well. I added wood and more plants, and let's zoom in on there and see how she's doing. Now you're not going to get any more food, but looking good. And here's, I think it's time to breed them. I think that's a really good opportunity to get the males, and we'll go down below and check them out. Really colorful. And here's another fully planted tank, which I just love, full of little tiny endlers, red little male. These are all males. You can tell by their bright colors. The females, when we get over there, I'll show them to you, will not get this with this fire. And I don't know if I'm going to breed anymore, but we'll maybe. This is also full of some Anubias and Java fern, and it's just a fully planted tank, and it's doing quite well. All right, so let's go on the bottom here. And if you remember from October, we had another blue betta in here. Unfortunately, Angel passed away. So now we have a new male betta. His name is Jazz. And he is young and vibrant. And oh, there's his colors. You can just see his sparkling blue personality. He is going to go up there probably with Hope or Joy. Yeah, that was a little tongue twister there. And they will, let's see if we can breed them. Jazz is looking good in his vibrant blue color. And in this tank, we have a couple of female antlers, and as you can see, they're kind of grayish, don't have the sparkling colors, and there is Sparky, the red betta, and his big tail. He looks phenomenal. He's looking really good. He's got really fun personality. This is a great starter fish, by the way. If you just want to get a simple 5-gallon tank with some plants and a simple fish to take care, a betta is a smart way to go. And contrary to belief, you can put other fish inside of your betta. It's just important to make sure that the other fish can run away and are fast, and so that if the male betta goes after them, he can't catch them. And as you can see, they're quite fast, and Sparky is never quite able to capture them. All right, and in this tank, we have old Agent Frank betta. He's a senior betta fish. You can tell he's slow, and his tail's getting a little bent. He's over a year old. Whatever time I have left with Agent Frank betta, we will enjoy our time together. There are also some female endlers in there, and he's too slow to get them now anyway. All right, that tank looks phenomenal. All right, so let's go and see these last 6-gallon tanks, because I have a special surprise for you. All right, in this tank, we just added some new rocks and plants, and as you can see, it just contains some female endlers guppies, and they're just had dinner and they're relaxing. And here's another 5-gallon, simple planted, more male endlers, and as you can see, these ones got a mix of colors. Let's see if I can zoom in on one of them. You can just see, yeah, they're really got these orange and white and red, really warm, vibrant colors. They're looking quite good. Oh, there's a couple more on top here. Let's see there, yeah. There they are. Well, that one's kind of see-through. All right, and in this tank here, last night, one of the females gave birth, and I don't know if I'll be able to zoom in on the babies, but they're back there. They're those little tinies in there. They're doing well. Unfortunately, mother passed away, which happens a lot with live bear fish. They often pass away when they give birth. These two females are also pregnant and will also give birth. I'm hoping they'll live, but I can't promise. It's a painful experience, and Mother Nature isn't always so kind, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, so far so good. We have 3 little guys back there. They're super tiny. Oh, there's one. There's 2 of them. And I can't promise to get all 3 of them in the mix, but I see it back there by the sponge filter, but it's so tiny. All right. You probably noticed that I'm not going to do any editing on this video. I believe in this shooting it all in one. That's just my style. Here are some more female endlers in case I want to do some more breeding. I don't know if I'm going to do that because I really have to question whether or not what happens in 2021 and whether or not how long I can maintain operations on the fish room with my PG&E bill and the cost of living in the East Bay, but we'll talk about that next year. Here are my white cloud minnows. And as you can see, there's 4 of them, and I'm also hoping to breed them. I've done it before. Now these lay eggs, and it's important. There's lots of hiding spaces for the eggs, and as you can see, there's lots of algae back there and plants, and I'm hoping I will have another successful breeding session and eggs and more babies, because these are a lot of fun to breed. And these are actually all the offspring of my original white cloud, so it's kind of fun. And in the last tank here are some more Endler females. It's just a simple rock tank with an Anubias. They've all had dinner, and they're all asking for some more, and the answer is going to be no, because here's a super big tip for you. You should only be feeding your fish once a day. If you have planted tanks, you do not need to feed them 2 or 3 times a day. You could end up causing an ammonia spike in your tank with all the uneaten food, which just causes a lot of problems with the water quality. So trust me, just feed them once a day. All right, so that has been the East Oakland Aquatics Fish Room Tour, and my name has been Aaron. In case I forgot to say it at the beginning, there's a chance that I forgot to do that because, as I said, I'm shooting this in one shot. That's with no editing, and that's kind of how I like to do it. So I want to wish you a happy holiday season. If you're watching this 2 years from now in a non-holiday season, just pick a holiday in the month and go with the flow. Be safe, take care of yourself, and we'll see you in the new year. All my best. Take care.